And now, the big shot. Brought to you by Nikon, at the heart of the image.
Previously on The Big Shot, our photographers were tasked to take a portrait of an artist. Morven found himself winning Pick of the Week, while Cheryl, who won Pick of the Week in the last episode, found herself booted out of the competition. It seems like every winner of Pick of the Week gets booted out the week after. Will Morven survive this episode of The Big Shot?
Hello and welcome to The Big Shot. We're on our way to one of the most famous places in the world, and our remaining photographers will definitely balk at its sheer magnificence. Photographers, here we are at Mt Merapi. The last time this place erupted was way back in 2010, and unfortunately as many as 320,000 people were displaced and 324 people lost their lives. The locals believe this volcano is the kingdom of spirits. If you are friendly to Merapi, Merapi will be friendly to you. However, the reverse is also true. Photographers, this is your challenge.
The theme for this week's challenge is landscape photography. Our photographers have been challenged to take a photograph that best depicts the caption, "I am dangerously beautiful." They have been given 30 minutes to complete this challenge.
Each of you will be given a jeep and a driver. Once we start off the clock, you can move from here, but you've got to return back here with your jeep within half an hour. Good luck, and your time starts now.
There was really not enough time for this challenge, and one of the things I face is I have no idea where exactly we are going. I was expecting, okay, here we are, we arrived, okay, then this is the area we are supposed to shoot. It wasn't like that, so I take a gamble and just move on further because I didn't notice anything that I like along the way. So when the time was like 13-14 minutes, I was deciding, okay, I have to stop somewhere. So I just stopped randomly. The location that I was at was some volcanic rocks and ashes. I thought I would just use that as my composure with some farmers over there. I took a few shots. I wasn't very satisfied with that, but that was the best at that short period of time that I have. And then immediately I have to go back. Along the way, I managed to stop at another location where there are lots of ashes, and then I took a few shots. Again, I wasn't satisfied at all with my shots. So this challenge, I'm pretty disappointed. Yeah.
Pretty tricky actually, dangerously beautiful. I would say landscape like any other landscape, there's only so much you can capture. When you crop it, landscape it, or you portrait it. But just now, I wish I could go higher up. Then we can see the trail of the lava that leads all the way up to the mountain. But I didn't want to waste too much time going down because I don't know what's down there. So on our way down, I saw something that could help me capture a little bit of that trail, but it's not, doesn't give me that. I'm not really happy though. Yeah. In terms of composition, I'm alright, but it's just that I wish I could have gone higher up to get the feel of the trail even more clearer, because otherwise everything is just laid too near to each other, which is what I got. But I did my best, and we only have 30 minutes. Otherwise I would have gone up. Yeah. I've been too confined in my own space, in my own style. After this competition, if I win or not, I already have a long list in my head on things I want to do to really push myself further. This challenge really pushes me to think and act in a very short period of time. It's crazy. What I've learned here about myself is that I'm a nervous wreck. Because I'm forced to shoot within a very short period of time, I have to be able to control my nervousness. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Macam pergi army.
think they will want to see a direct interpretation of the theme, like how dangerous a beautiful place could be. Like in this case, the volcano could be a beautiful place for landscape photographers. But in reality, the people here are like at the mercy of the volcano. Like it could erupt anytime and cause destruction, impacting their lives. And as soon as I found the first suitable spot, I stopped because that would be like the fastest way back, thinking that I might need the time there to set up my shot. And there were a lot of rubble, debris, broken concrete on the floor strewn, and the backdrop is just nice with the volcano. And I wanted to show a relation between the volcano and the destruction that it has caused. I would love to have more lighting equipment. Yeah, because in this kind of lighting, I wanted the backdrop to be well lighted so that it makes sense in relation. But in this case, my foreground might be a bit darker, so I would love to have more lighting, like to light my foreground.
Because the title was I'm dangerously beautiful. So actually the first thing in mind is actually like something like lava, because we are actually at volcano. But actually I couldn't have the kind of scene, so I saw the rocks and it's like a valley. So I still use that location. I just want to get a very scenic photo, probably just rocky, like a valley, which is actually very dangerous, and yet when you see the photo, it's very beautiful. I do landscape photography before, so I kind of know the basic of doing landscape photography. And I actually was kind of expecting that today would be doing landscape. And when I got the lens, yeah, I know I'm doing landscape. Let's go back.
Left. If you got your shot, you're going to try another location.
No, going back.
You're going back, you're
done? Done.
All right, you seem very confident. See you, man.
Guys, let's go to Dusun Putong, Jalan Ak. I would say you need to envision what the challenge is. Then where the technical ability is the execution of your vision, of how do you get the image. So when you frame up your shot, you think about, how do you want this image to look like when you are going to present it for judging later on. I only stopped at about 2 spots. I found out right at about 2 minutes after we have left the first location that would take another 15 minutes to go up to the second location that I wanted to have a shot. But then, however, I found out that's not going to cut it, so we had to start to head back. On the way back, I saw like an abandoned house that is in ruins, and there was 1 or 2 things that I could possibly find. So luckily, I just stopped there and scouted out the location. And I found this tea set that is still left there in the house. So maybe that may work.
Dangerously beautiful? Does it encapsulate that?
Possibly it could.
This picture doesn't quite work for me.
I would give a no-no right about now.
It's not awful, but there's just not enough there to hold my interest.
You went well in there?
Not really quite well. Hope that I won't be the one that going.
I do expect to be sent home.
During this challenge, we were brought to this volcanic area. It's Mt Merapi, and there was a big, majestic mountain. I was actually expecting to see the eruption of the volcano, volcanic activities, and ruby red lava that flowing out from the volcano. That the kind of color against the black rocks, vivid, beautiful, dangerous. And when this lava passed through its path, and this will be the will happen. So this is my price of the beauty.
Your photograph is nicely balanced in the sense that it has a foreground, the rocks, especially in the bottom left corner there, but What doesn't really work for me is the balance of the composition, because the area of the sky, I think we should be able to see more of that. So you might have wanted to go wider if that was possible. The exposure, I think a lot of detail has just been kind of lost in the shadow areas. I don't hardly see any detail in the green area and the top right and in some of the rocks. Definitely not one of your strongest images, I'm afraid.
Pictures a lot underexposed. You lost a lot of details. The important thing of having a landscape or a wide shot is understanding how you compose your shot. So this part here, you didn't actually execute it that well. I was hoping that you did. I like the way you described the scenario that you were going to be faced when you were going to be there. But if it was, it would be more than dangerous for you.
Yes.
But I would agree that it would be an awesome shot to be there if you have caught that particular thing. But right now, you didn't abuse that. I mean, with what's given to you, the ruins and everything else, you did not manage to capture that for me.
Yeah. I do agree with the two judges. Composition could have been a little bit better. Pull back slightly. Yeah.
Very happy?
Yeah.
So, let's just say that you can break the cycle in terms of big shot this season where pick of the week and then you get eliminated. You went well in there?
Not really quite well, so yeah. Hope that I won't be the one that going.
I chanced upon this site where there's this rundown building, partially buried in a huge pile of volcanic ashes. So I thought it looks nice as a landscape photograph and it suits the theme. What I'm trying to portray here is the devastating and destructive power of the eruption and the lava that destroyed everything along this path and then left this half-buried building in this picture. I'm basically using a very simple rule in landscape photography where I have a simple foreground. In this case, the edge of a small cliff. Then I have the midground, which is the center of my focus, and then the sky as the background of my image.
I like the fact that you said that it was the devastating path of nature was what you're trying to capture, right?
Yeah.
Don't you find that that particular foreground is distracting to you?
I did try various angles in this shot. I did have one that doesn't show any foreground, but I thought it looks pretty flat, so I decided to add a little simple edge. It's like a small depression down, so I thought this looks better than without the foreground.
I understand, but in my case, it took away a lot of essentials for me. That means when I see something, the first thing that grabs my attention is that blurriness that's happening, and then I was hoping to see a little bit more texture on the rocks, leading lines cutting through it, the composition. And from this here, I looked at it, it's like it's half in the middle of the page. And to me, that's a little bit of a no-no. It's either you go off-centered or you give more sky or more land, yeah?
Okay.
So I think there's room for improvement with this shot, for sure.
Thank you.
I would agree with what Imran said about the sort of centre placement of the subject in the composition. But for me, the foreground, the blur, I like that. It's a shame that your sky has been kind of bleached out a bit. There's not much there, but I suppose that was just the weather and not really much you could have done about it. All in all, not bad.
I agree that the foreground and the background are both very distracting to me now. I wish I could see more details. Otherwise, the black and white works for me perfectly.
Thank you.
Caleb, the familiar walk to see the judges.
Yeah.
How do you think you do?
This is the one that perhaps I could have been sent home because I did something that's really different, which everyone will see in a few minutes. I'm like, we were at Mt Merapi, and the location that was given to us was abandoned ruins that was devastated by the volcano. So I went into this one location and I found that there are actually teacups with a pounder. I just felt that these were items that were left by a family that had just had to evacuate out. But as you can see, I was just trying to concentrate on the items to show that this is something that was left behind that looks beautiful, but yet it was dangerous because at least it avoided the lava flow.
I appreciate that you pick out something beautiful in a dangerous place, but I think this week's challenge was landscape photography.
Right.
I would rather you have shown me the magnitude rather than just going into the details.
Right.
So right now, it looks like it could have been styled rather than showing me a landscape photography. So this picture doesn't quite work for me.
Okay.
I have to agree that I don't see its relevance to the theme, just not a landscape photograph. But if I'm to critique the photograph on its own merits, I would say that there's just not a great deal of balance or interest there. The photographing partly in shade and part in sunlight is something really difficult to do because, you know, in order to balance your tones as it is, there's just sort of a corner of overexposure there. That's what I'll have to say about the shot, but I would just stress that it really doesn't fit the theme.
It's got a lot of storytelling elements involved here, but it just does not fit the theme for this week. And because of that, I feel very sorry to see that it's a waste. You could have captured beautiful stuff when you were there. Yeah. So I hope next time round you get to explore that a little bit more.
Do you still feel the same now?
No, you're right. I do expect to be sent home for this one because I know what the mistakes were. Right after the challenge, everyone did a landscape shot, and I knew that this is the one who's going to send me home.
While going down the trail with the jeep, I found this location. So I thought I'd make full use of the location where we're at. Try and capture Mt Merapi, which is quite faded at the moment because of the weather and the clouds. I tried to get as high as possible so I could get the depth of where the lava flow. It's a straightforward landscape shot. Yeah.
I like it. It's nicely balanced. It has colours which are vivid without being too much. It's a shame that the dimension isn't clearer. I mean, as you say, that's the weather. So all in all, I'd say it's all right.
Thank you.
I think it is so simple that it's beautiful.
Thank you.
It was much better than last week. I like the fact that you took a little bit more time, I think, now to compose your shot. It's more off-centered. The clouds were not too overexposed. The grounds you've got details on. You can start seeing lines, yeah? So you see textures coming out. And I didn't really notice Merapi on the back until you said it. And then I looked at it again. It's absolutely stunning to see that you captured what's been done and what still stands at the background, yeah? So I think this week, this is one of my favorite shots.
Thank you.
I really like this picture. The only thing I have a little bit of problem with is maybe you can show me a little bit of the danger part of it. Dangerously beautiful. That's your theme.
Yeah.
But otherwise, great picture.
Thank you.
Let it out. Let it out.
Okay. Okay, yeah. I don't know what to say. Thank you.
Do you think you have a chance to actually be the pick of the week?
Wow, yeah, I haven't thought about that. Hopefully, that'll be nice. It'll be awesome. Yeah.
We will find out.
Okay.
Enjoy this moment.
Okay, thank you. See ya.
I wanted to show through this picture the reality behind such a beautiful place. A man is seen standing on a demolished wall overlooking the ruins of a former home with the volcano that destroyed it right in the backdrop. As beautiful as it is to nature and tourists, it still instills fear amongst the residents living around it.
I like the part when you said the reality of the shot, that it's supposed to be, the ruins and stuff. But when you have a guy pose there like that, it's as good as being Marilyn Monroe. We have a problem. I mean, I have a problem with it because I don't see the importance of the shot suddenly. And second thing is that the image is not off-centered, so it's half right there. So it becomes plain again. But in terms of textures where the stones are at and the lights that's falling on it, I like it, that part. But every time I look at the picture, I want to look at the dangerously beautiful, but all I see is the beautiful, which is that guy posing right there. So it really bugs me. So I would give a no-no right about now.
There's some overexposure in the clouds, and I'm not entirely sure why you chose to shoot this in portrait format rather than landscape. But other than that, I mean, it's not awful, but there's just not enough there to hold my interest. I hope you don't take that too harshly, because I think that all of your fellow contestants have kind of struggled this week. Hope to see better next time. Thanks.
When I look at this picture, I was so distracted by the man and the 2 blocks of wood over there, or was that walls? Yeah. My eyes, I don't know where to rest. I wish you had shot it the other way instead of shot it vertical, and maybe perhaps better composition next time.
Thanks. To add on it, this week's theme is landscapes, yeah?
Landscape.
This might be a problem, I think.
No.
Just to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Okay, thank you.
Photographers, for this round, all the judges were unanimous in terms of describing all your pictures. It's fair to say they were very unimpressed. Once again, when I call out your name, please take a step forward. Jana? Joshua?
Joshua, you set yourself apart from the rest of the pack this week with your black and white picture, so good job.
Thank you.
Janet, we liked your picture very much. Great colours, nice balance in terms of exposure and composition. Great to see an improvement from you compared with your previous week's efforts. So we have chosen your picture as pick of the week. Congratulations.
Three of you. Caleb.
Caleb, I'm pretty much disappointed with the shots because you didn't adhere to the theme. I hope next time round, if you get the chance to do so, you try to follow as much instruction that the competition actually gives you. This time round, I wasn't impressed at all with the image.
Fauzi? Fauzi? Caleb? You're safe. I'm sorry, Fauzi. You're the next photographer to be eliminated. Fauzi, it's never nice being eliminated. And I can sense that you're a little bit disgruntled. You're obviously very unhappy with that decision. Why so?
I feel it's like writing a composition in school. I mean, if you are like out of context, you don't get a single point at all. And I believe that the elements that I put into my picture tells a story and fits the caption very well. I think the judges also must recognize that we are photographing in not a landscape time of day. I won't go there to Mt Merapi at 12 noon and shoot and get everything nice blue sky details on the ground and all that. Yeah, but I tried my best to tell a story with that, and I'm surprised that with me and Caleb out there, and Caleb gets saved for what he did, I mean, I might just as well shoot whatever I like and submit it as my photo. I mean, out of context means no points at all. Why give someone a chance at the expense of somebody else?
Fauzi, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, the judge's decision is final.
Yep, it's okay.
We're gonna miss you here in the big shot.
Yep, thank you.
Take care of yourself. Good luck.
Thanks. Right.
Caleb, you were expecting to leave this competition in this round. Were you surprised at the turn of events?
Very, extremely very, and I'm actually thankful for the judges to give me that one more chance.
So the results out. How do you feel right now?
Relieved. I'm very happy that I can still fight for one more day, but I know that I really need to step up.
So is this still a bit of a shock to you because you're giving me nothing in terms of your expression as well? No sense of joy, relief, or anything else? You're still being very deadpan.
Right, I am, because I am the sort of person that just prepares for the worst.
Okay.
Never miss another episode. Catch up on Sin MSN Now.
Hope you have enjoyed The Big Shot. Brought to you by Nikon, at the heart of the image. In the next episode of The Big Shot, 4 remain in the competition with a World Heritage location and 2 models at their disposal. It's time to show who has what it takes to wow the judges.
Trying to portray a maiden in a mystical or spiritual realm.
I actually posed the model in such a way that she looks like stepping up on the wall.
I actually took it as a fine art.
Take her as a princess who just arrived at the temple.
The Big Shot, next Wednesday at 9 p.m. on 5. Brought to you by Nikon, at the heart of the image.